The following is a Mission Investor Relations production. MissionIR has executed countless investor relations programs to address the needs of companies ranging from startups to established industry leaders, gaining valuable experience and the expertise necessary to determine the most effective strategy for any given situation. We know our reputation is based on the integrity of our clients and go to great lengths to ensure the companies represented adhere to sound business practices. It is our team's unwavering commitment to connect the investment community with the companies that have great potential and a strong dedication to building shareholder value. The following interview features a client of MissionIR. MissionIR has been compensated for the production of this interview. Please be sure to read our entire disclaimer for full disclosure. Thank you, and here today as your host is Stuart Smith.
Welcome one, welcome all to this online business briefing where we're joined today for the very first time by Net Element Incorporated. The company's traded on the NASDAQ CM, that's the NASDAQ Capital Market, under the ticker symbol NETE. And we're joined today by the Chief Executive Officer of Net Element Incorporated, Mr. Oleg. Oleg, how are you today?
Excellent. Yourself?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to speak to your company's shareholders as well as the listeners to this program. And for the listeners that may not be familiar with Net Element Incorporated, if you would, describe the business model and market for the company.
Well, first let me tell you what Net Element is. Net Element is a technology-driven group specializing in mobile payments and value-added transaction services in emerging countries in the United States. We focus on bringing value-added services to small to medium-sized businesses in the United States. In emerging countries, we focus on alternative payments, such as carrier billing and ability for consumers to use their mobile devices to make payments by debiting their phone bills instead of using traditional Visa MasterCard schemes.
Excellent. So not only are you working domestically, but also internationally. Would you say most of your business is here in the States or around the world?
Most of the business today is in the United States.
Very good. Well, you're our guest today as well as the Chief Executive Officer for the company. We'd like to learn a little bit about your background and then any other key members of the management team.
Well, myself, I've been in the payments business since 2002. Have done a lot of transactions on the M&A side within the payments business and the technology business that's tied to the payments industry. I've also started a company called Unified Payments. Unified Payments was ranked as the fastest growing company according to Inc. 500 magazine for 2012. What else can I say about myself? That I'm very big believer of transactional business, cashless transactions. I believe the future is going to be shifting from cash to alternative payments and plastic, hence the reason why I'm in this industry. I've also have an excellent management team here at Net Element. Most of the executives have 10-plus years in the industry. My board members, the newly added board members this year, have over 20 years experience each in the payments industry. I've added William Healy to the board this year. He's an expert and a veteran in the payments industry on the finance side. I've added Drew Freeman to the board this year. He's an industry veteran, over 25 years in the industry, has been an executive at Chase Merchant Services, First Data, and other huge companies in our industry.
Well, let's talk about that industry a little bit closer just before we get into what some of the accomplishments for the company have been here in 2014. But tell me a little bit about your company. When you talk about the digital payment or the mobile payment and value-added transactional services, let's talk a little bit about that market size. You just said that you believe the future is going to be shifting more towards this, but right now, this is a massive market as it stands right now. Is that true, Oleg?
Correct. The market is huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar market today, and it's in my belief it's growing rapidly. With the introduction of an iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, it's only going to add to mobile commerce. Over 60 million potential users will be able to transact in mobile commerce in the near future.
Very good. Well, then, like I said, let's look back on the year 2014. We're almost done with the month of September. Tell me a little bit about what you think the company has accomplished so far here in 2014.
The company had a busy 2014 so far. We have announced multiple financings for the company The company received $10 million financing from RBL Capital, received $11.2 million financing from Cayman Invest, recently finished debt swap with Crete Capital in approximately $60 million, and just yesterday announced $11 million credit facility from Alpha Bank, the largest bank in Russia, for expansion of its operations in Russia. So it has, on the financing side, it has been a busy year. On the operational side, we have a completed divestiture of non-core assets, repositioned the company from being in multiple business sectors to being a transactional and mobile payments business. We launched our mobile payments platform in Russia earlier this year. As I mentioned before, appointed new board members. Drew Freeman and William Healy joined the board of directors. This year, we launched multiple value-added offerings, which included analytical toolbox this year. In addition, we have paid down our liabilities tremendously. We are currently a virtually debt-free company. December of 2013, the company had liabilities of over $34 million, and today we are virtually debt-free. So it's been a very busy year, streamlining operations, growing revenues significantly, and launching some key services, adding board members, and securing substantial financing to execute on a business strategy.
Very good. Well, it has been an active 2014, and as you mentioned, the Net Element announces $11 million financing from Alpha Bank. Listeners, you can find that press release by using that ticker symbol again, NETE. Well, Oleg, as you look to the remainder of 2014 and possibly into Q1 2015, what would you say some of the goals for the company are?
The goals for the company are obviously to grow our revenues substantially, to turn profitable and have sustainable profitability on a go-forward basis. And the sky is the limit from here. We are looking to really increase our revenues and make a strong foothold in this industry.
Well, I talked about the Net Element announcing the $11 million financing from Alpha Bank. That press release, financing will now allow Net Element to accelerate its growth efforts in Russia. But beyond that, Oleg, this has to be a validation for you, your company, and its business model, because when listeners read about Alpha Bank, this is a massive institution. Obviously, they have some faith in you and your company. How does that feel?
No, it feels great. It feels great. And, furthermore, earlier in a month, we've announced Crete Capital financing. Crete Capital also believed in our business enough to give us more than $15 million worth of financing to restructure our debt. We actually secured almost $60 million from Crete Capital in the form of equity, and that was done September 15th. So we're very proud of our new partners that believe in the company and put their money where their mouth is. So it's really encouraging for us, and we're not going to let anybody down.
Well, listeners, I really encourage you to look at the headlines, or the press wire, if you will, for Net Element Incorporated, traded on NASDAQ CM under the ticker symbol NETE. Obviously, the month of September was a watershed moment for the company Net Element to bring Apple Pay to merchants. After that, several third parties, including MarketWatch, The Street, 24/7 Wall Street, talk about Net Element riding the Apple wave. This is a great month for you and your company, and we so appreciate you taking the time to speak with us here today, Oleg. Have a great end of 2014, and we expect great things from you and your company here in 2014 and beyond. Thank you, Oleg.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, for Oleg Firer, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for listening.
This audio interview today is a broadcast provided by Mission Investor Relations, an investor relations and marketing firm. MissionIR from time to time receives payments for investor relations, financial consulting, and marketing services provided to its clients. You should assume that officers and employees of MissionIR or financial analysts mentioned hold a position and intend to trade in these securities for their own accounts. This is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell securities. Information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, an investment in the future company carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the company thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This audio interview by MissionIR does not purport to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from the featured company and other sources, but not verified nor guaranteed by Mission Investor Relations as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see our full disclaimer on MissionIR.com.